I am disappointed that we don't get to see you apply this mentality to The Mummy. For whatever reason, I'm kind of like bathing over The Mummy, what you've been explaining for this process, and also just the fluidity of making a movie like Climax. And it just seems like if we kind of let you live in that role for the extent of a movie, and she finally got her own film, I don't know. That would have been really cool.
I love that experience, though. I mean, it was just it was a lot of work, and I appreciate every second of it. There was a lot of element to explore within this movie, not just the mummy herself. But I think they were pretty. I think psychologically, I'm happy that I was able to play her with the depth that I was allowed to, because it could have been so straightforward, mean mummy destroying everything, you know. But I think, luckily, you know, Alex Kurtzman and Tom, you know, Cruise would like really allow me to explore something a bit deeper and sort of humanize her, which is, I love it, coming from, you know, having to be a monster to begin with.
It was definitely something that really stood out with that movie. Being able to kind of, you know, make Climax with Gaspar's help, of course, your own experience and create your own unique way of working. Is it at all intimidating to go back to the blockbuster world, especially when, like, sadly, the truth of the matter is so many of those films and those franchises live and die based on the dollar amount that we apply to it in the end, even after all that hard work?
I understand what you're saying. I think that being new to the industry and having and starting with that process to begin with, and then doing a movie with Gaspar, I haven't done a blockbuster since, but I will completely encourage that process for my character. I can't control the whole movie. I mean, I'm not a director, but I will definitely try to allow that process as much as I possibly can. And I've been lucky so far. Honestly, I've worked with directors that were hearing me out and with a lot of respect, sort of considering my journey. Alex definitely did with Tom for The Mummy. I think I fell in love with the character, and I know that originally the character had such an interesting psychology, and his power was mind control, and it was a lot of substance, and nothing was exploding at the time. And I remember the sensitivity that it had and the eeriness of it. And I talked with them at length about that, and they loved it. And I was able to bring that to the table. And that's a big, giant blockbuster film. So I think it's always possible, but you have to know your character, do your research. And if it makes sense, I truly believe that productions will apply it. And I believe in that. I have never been told no, if I like, because it comes from a place of like truly caring about the character. If it's justified that way, I generally, like, everybody, even on Star Trek, everybody that I had a chance to work with always allowed me to experience it that way.
So encouraging to hear that.
Yeah, no, genuinely, I'm happy. Like, I've heard stories, generally. And I feel sorry that it happened for certain people in certain ways, and I know that it's a lot to handle. But I've been lucky so far, and I'm nothing but encouraged now since I've done Climax to just keep going and doing it that way.
Have you in those bigger films entered a situation yet where you've been confronted with the concept of signing like a big multi-film contract that locks you in for possibly like a decade of your life? Is that something you'd want to do? Is that something you've come up against? Compared to a small project like Complex, you work for 15 days and you get on with your life. Is that something that appeals to you? And if they said, you can play this superhero, but we might have you for 10 years.
I've never done that before. I think when I signed for Star Trek, I signed for something for 3 picture with the production. I think that's what happened, but I'm allowed to do other projects. I mean, I don't think that nothing was so hard and rigid so far. I don't know if I'd do it. It depends. Honestly, it depends how much I love the project ahead and how much time I truly want to spend with that character, with that story. It'll have to happen for me to answer you, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right now, if you tell me that I would be contracted to play just one character for the next 7 years of my life, the idea of it is scary.
Yeah.
But depends how much I love it.
Yeah,
That'll make the difference. Yeah, but I like changes. That's the thing. I like to jump fully in something, and then I like changes.
Would you want to do a TV show along that same line?
Yeah, I mean, same thing. If I love the director that I'm working with and the story and the character, yeah, why not? But I mean, you have to think about the fact that this will be the next 7 years of your life. And if you told me now if I want to spend like another 7 years with the Mummy, like that was a lot, you know, for me. And even like Selva in Climax, I was like, I'm not sure, like if I want to be in that state for 7 years.
Especially Selva, my goodness.
Oh yeah.